All right, so are you ready to like really get into it today? Because today we're going to be looking at this article called Five Things You're Saying That Turn Women Off, and you don't even know it.
Interesting title.
Yeah, and it's all these subtle things, right? That can like really make or break the attraction.
Yeah.
And we're going to like get into the real nitty-gritty today, the stuff that like most people just don't even realize.
Right.
And it's not about, cheesy pickup lines or anything like that.
Right.
It's about like really understanding what makes you attractive on a deeper level.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that this article goes beyond the surface level. We've all heard that confidence is key.
Right.
But have you ever really stopped to think about like WHY?
Yeah.
Like what is it about confidence that's so attractive?
Right.
We're going to unpack that. We're going to look at the subconscious triggers,
Mm-hmm.
like body language, tone of voice, the whole package.
Okay, so first up, the dreaded overcompliment.
Oh.
Like, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Classic.
The article says that can actually backfire.
Really?
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it comes off as like generic,
Okay.
like you haven't really put any thought into it.
Right.
Like imagine, receiving a gift card that just said happy birthday on it.
Yeah.
It's just like, thanks, but you could have given this to anyone.
It's not personal.
Exactly. It's not personal. And so when you say that to a woman, it's like, you're not really seeing her. You're just seeing a pretty face,
And I bet you anything she's heard it a million times before.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Okay, so if showering someone with generic praise is a no-go,
Mm-hmm.
what's the alternative?
Well, the article suggests getting specific.
Okay.
So instead of complimenting something obvious like her looks, try noticing something unique about her personality.
Okay.
Maybe she has a really dry sense of humor or like a quirky way of expressing herself. Tell her you appreciate that.
Yeah.
It shows you're actually paying attention and that you see her as an individual.
I like that.
Yeah,
So it makes her feel seen.
exactly.
Okay, this next one is something I've definitely been guilty of in the past, starting conversations with apologies.
Oh, yeah.
The article claims that, those sorry to bother you or, I hope I'm not interrupting
Right.
phrases can actually make you seem less confident.
Interesting.
What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. You're basically asking for permission to be there.
Right.
Right. And confidence is all about owning your presence.
Okay.
Imagine walking up to someone and saying, hey, I couldn't help but notice your style. That jacket is killer.
Right.
You're not apologizing for approaching them.
Yeah.
You're just engaging directly. And that subtle shift can make a huge difference.
So no more like tiptoeing around.
Exactly. Be direct, be engaging.
Okay, I like
Right.
it. Let's talk about another conversational pitfall.
Okay.
Making the woman carry the entire conversation. Those hey texts where you basically leave it up to her to come up with something interesting to say?
Uh-huh.
Why is that a problem?
Well, because it puts all the pressure on her.
Okay.
It makes it feel very one-sided. And attraction is about creating a shared experience.
Okay.
So instead of throwing the ball entirely in her court, you got to give her something to work with.
So like what? Give me an example.
Well, the article uses this example. You look like someone who knows how to curate the perfect playlist.
Mm-hmm.
What are you listening to right now?
I like that.
It gives her something specific to respond to.
Right.
It's like you're inviting her to join you in a conversation rather than demanding that she entertain you.
Right.
And that collaborative feeling is much more likely to spark attraction.
Okay. All right, on to the next point, showering someone with excessive approval.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah. Is there really such a thing as being too enthusiastic?
Absolutely. Imagine, someone who's just constantly saying, that's amazing, or you're so cool to everything you say. It starts to feel insincere, almost like they're trying too hard to impress you.
Right.
So it's important to offer genuine compliments, but don't overdo it.
Okay, so instead of being a constant cheerleader, what's the alternative?
The article suggests mixing in some playful teasing or curiosity.
Okay.
So for example, if she says she's learning to cook, instead of just saying, wow, that's awesome, you could say something like, all right, what's the best dish you've made so far? And what's the disaster you're still trying to forget?
Oh, I like that.
It shows you're listening, but you're also playful and not afraid to challenge her a little. That kind of dynamic keeps things interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this next one can be tough for a lot of guys, asking for a woman's number or a date.
Right, the big question.
The article says that hesitantly asking, like, would you maybe like to go out sometime, can actually make you seem less confident.
It makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, because if you're not even sure if you want to spend time with her, why should she be excited about it? Right. Confidence is about owning your desire.
Okay.
So instead of framing it as a question, try a statement like, we should continue this conversation over dinner. What's your schedule like this week?
So it's about assuming the attraction is already there,
Exactly.
rather than asking for permission.
Right.
Now, before we jump into the next section, there's one more point I want to touch on.
Okay.
The balance between giving and withholding validation.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
The article suggests that constantly seeking to please and agree with everything a woman says can actually backfire.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, it's like anything else. Too much of a good thing can become boring.
Right.
You know, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of unpredictability keeps things interesting.
Okay. Hold that thought, because I think that's a perfect place to pick up in the next part.
Sounds good.
We're going to dive deeper into that concept and explore how maintaining your own opinions and your sense of humor can actually make you more attractive.
I'm intrigued.
You definitely don't want to miss this.
You know, when we talk about being unpredictable, it doesn't mean like playing mind games or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just, showing the different facets of your personality.
Okay.
Like, think about someone like Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
He's so engaging because you never quite know what he's going to say next.
Oh,
right?
so, yeah.
There's that element of surprise.
So it's not about being intentionally confusing.
Right.
It's just about being genuine and letting your true self shine through.
Exactly.
And the article talks about using humor and playful teasing as ways to kind of add that element of surprise.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like a well-placed joke or a witty observation, it can completely change the energy of an interaction.
Right.
Let's say she mentions she loves reality TV.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, oh, cool, me too, you could say something like, really, I never would have pegged you for a reality TV fan. What's your guilty pleasure show?
Ooh, I like that.
Right. You're injecting humor and you're showing you don't take things too seriously.
It's like finding that sweet spot between being respectful and engaging,
Exactly.
but also like adding a little spice to the mix.
A little bit of spice.
Yeah, the article also emphasizes that attraction isn't the same as validation.
Oh, that's an important distinction.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. It's a common trap to fall into, especially when you're really interested in someone.
Right.
You want them to, so you might find yourself constantly agreeing with everything they say or trying to impress them.
Right.
But here's the thing, constantly seeking validation can actually make you less attractive.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. If you're always agreeing with someone and trying to please them, it can come across as if you lack your own opinions and sense of self.
Right.
It's like you're a mirror reflecting their thoughts and feelings instead of a unique individual.
So instead of being a yes man, it's important to maintain your own identity and express your thoughts and feelings authentically.
Exactly. Confidence comes from knowing your worth and not needing constant external validation.
Right.
When you're comfortable in your own skin and secure in your beliefs, it shines through.
This whole conversation about confidence reminds me of the point the article made about avoiding unnecessary apologies.
Oh yeah, sorry. The dreaded sorry.
Why do you think that something as simple as saying sorry can have such a big impact on how we're perceived?
Well, I think it all comes down to subconscious cues.
Okay.
When you apologize for taking up space or expressing your thoughts, it can signal to others that you don't feel worthy of their attention.
Right.
It's like you're shrinking yourself down.
Okay.
So instead of starting conversations with apologies, it's about confidently engaging and owning your space in the interaction.
So basically, just imagine walking into a room full of people.
Right.
You wouldn't apologize for being there, right?
Exactly.
It's the same principle.
You have just as much right to be there and express yourself.
Okay, I like that. Let's talk about something that I think often gets overlooked: body language.
Oh yeah, huge.
The article emphasizes that attraction goes beyond just words.
Right.
It's about how we carry ourselves and the nonverbal signals we're sending.
Our bodies are constantly communicating even when we're not saying a word.
So give me an example, what are some things that we should be aware of?
Well, think about someone who walks with their head down, shoulders slumped, avoiding eye contact.
Right.
It makes you want to step back, right?
Yeah, it's not very inviting.
Exactly. Now imagine someone who stands tall, makes eye contact, has a relaxed, open posture.
Right.
They draw you in.
So it's like they're radiating confidence.
Exactly.
And they're inviting you to engage with them.
And it's not about like trying to force a certain posture or gesture.
Right.
It's about becoming aware of your body language and making small adjustments that feel natural and authentic.
So how can we become more mindful of our body language and use it to our advantage?
Well, one simple technique is to pay attention to how you feel when you're interacting with someone.
Okay.
If you're feeling anxious or insecure, it will likely show up in your body language.
Wow.
So try to focus on relaxing your shoulders, making eye contact, using open hand gestures.
Okay.
It can make a surprising difference.
It's like you're sending a message to yourself and the other person
Exactly.
that you're comfortable and confident in that situation.
Yeah.
Now let's dive into another aspect of nonverbal communication, vocal tone.
Ooh, the voice.
The article mentions that how we say something can be just as important as what we say.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, have you ever noticed how someone's voice can completely change your perception of them?
Totally.
Right. Like a monotone voice can make someone seem boring or uninterested,
Right.
while a warm, expressive voice can be incredibly captivating.
Yeah, it's amazing how those subtle vocal cues can make such a big difference.
It's all about the energy you're putting out there.
So give me an example.
Okay, well, think about a time you were listening to someone who spoke very quickly and nervously, rushing through their words.
Mm-hmm.
It probably made you feel a bit anxious or uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Now imagine someone who speaks at a steady pace, using pauses effectively, and varying their pitch and tone.
Right.
It draws you in.
Like they're in control of the conversation
Exactly.
and confident in what they're saying.
And again, it's not about trying to put on a fake voice or persona or anything.
Right.
It's about becoming aware of your natural speaking style
Right.
and making small adjustments that enhance your communication.
So it's about finding that balance between being authentic,
Yeah.
but also being aware of how we're coming across.
Exactly.
And you know, this whole conversation about body language and vocal tone,
Yeah.
it ties back to something really important.
What's that?
The difference between seeking validation and seeking connection.
Oh, that's a good one.
How so?
Well, when you're focused on getting validation, you're likely to be more self-conscious and worried about how you're being perceived,
Okay.
right? And that anxiety can manifest in your body language and vocal tone, making you appear less confident.
Okay.
But when you're genuinely interested in connecting with someone, your focus shifts from yourself to the interaction itself.
So instead of obsessing over whether or not she likes you,
Right.
you're more present in the moment
Exactly.
and focused on the conversation itself.
And that shift in mindset can have profound impact on your communication.
How so?
Well, when you're not so worried about being judged, you naturally become more relaxed, engaging, and authentic.
Right.
And those qualities are incredibly attractive.
So it's not just about learning specific techniques or tricks.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating a mindset of genuine connection
Exactly.
and letting go of the need for constant validation.
You got it. And you know what? This brings us to another crucial aspect of attraction that the article highlights.
Okay, what's that?
The art of storytelling.
Ooh, storytelling. Okay. How does storytelling play into attraction?
Well, think about the people you find most engaging.
Okay.
Are they the ones who just rattle off facts and figures?
Right.
Or are they the ones who can weave a captivating tale, draw you into their world, make you feel like you're right there with them?
Definitely the storytellers.
Exactly right.
They make you feel like you're part of the experience,
Yes.
not just a passive observer.
Storytelling allows you to connect with someone on a deeper level.
Right.
You're revealing your personality, your values, your experiences.
So instead of just listing your accomplishments or hobbies,
Right.
it's about sharing anecdotes that showcase your personality and give her a glimpse into your world.
Exactly. And you know what? Stories don't have to be these grand adventures or epic tales.
Right.
Sometimes the most relatable and engaging stories are about everyday moments,
Okay.
embarrassing mishaps, funny observations.
It's about finding those moments that resonate with others and sharing them in a way that creates connection and sparks laughter.
You know, it's fascinating how all these seemingly disparate elements, confidence, body language, humor, storytelling,
Right.
they all come together to create that elusive quality we call attraction.
It's like a recipe, right?
It is like a recipe.
You need the right ingredients combined in the right way to create something truly special.
I love that analogy.
And I think we've uncovered some of the key ingredients to making that magic happen.
I think so too.
But before we wrap up, I know we have one more crucial point to explore the art of escalating the interaction and moving things forward.
Yes, the next level.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll dive into the subtle but powerful ways to navigate that crucial stage.
Okay, so we're back and like ready to tackle that like final hurdle, you know, taking things to the next level.
Right.
We've talked about building attraction, but how do you actually like move from a great conversation to like getting her number or asking her out? Well, this is where I think a lot of guys get tripped up because they overthink it. You know, remember all those confidence boosting techniques we talked about?
Right.
They apply here too. It's about transitioning smoothly and naturally.
Okay.
Not making it this big awkward thing.
Okay, so the article emphasizes being direct, but also respectful.
Okay.
Like they give this example, I'm really enjoying this conversation. We should continue it over coffee sometime. What's your schedule like?
I like that.
What do you think makes that approach so effective?
I think it assumes a mutual interest without being pushy.
Okay.
You know, you're not saying, can I please have your number?
Right.
You're suggesting a shared experience, which is more appealing.
Okay.
And it opens the door for her to respond in a way that feels comfortable for her.
So it's about giving her an opportunity to engage.
Exactly.
Rather than putting her on the spot.
Right.
Now, the article also mentions that a lot of guys hesitate at this stage because they're afraid of rejection.
Oh, yeah, the big R.
Any advice on how to deal with that fear?
You know, rejection is part of the game. And honestly, the more you experience it, the easier it becomes.
Okay.
It's like anything else, the more you practice, the better you get at it.
Right.
So think about it this way. If you never put yourself out there, you're guaranteeing that you'll never get what you want.
Right.
But if you take the risk, you at least have a chance of success.
Right.
And even if she's not interested, you've gained valuable experience and you've built your confidence for the next time.
So you either win or you learn.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about another aspect the article touches on, the importance of detaching from the outcome.
Detaching from the outcome, okay.
What does that even mean, like, in the context of attraction?
It means going into the interaction with the intention of simply enjoying the conversation, connecting with another human being.
Okay.
Not with the sole goal of getting a date or a phone number.
Okay.
When you're too focused on the outcome, you put unnecessary pressure on yourself and on the interaction, and it can make you seem desperate or insincere.
So it's about shifting your mindset from, I need to win her over,
Right.
to, I'm curious to get to know this person.
Exactly. And when you're coming from that place of genuine curiosity, you naturally become more relaxed, present, and engaging.
Okay.
And those qualities are far more attractive than any pickup line or tactic.
So it's like being authentic, right?
Yes.
And just letting your true self shine through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to force something that's not there.
Yeah. Okay, now before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, body language.
Oh yeah, body language always important.
How does that play a role in escalating the interaction?
Well, think about the signals you're sending with your body.
Okay.
Are you leaning in, making eye contact, mirroring her movements?
Okay.
Or are you closed off, fidgeting, looking around the room?
Okay.
Those nonverbal cues speak volumes.
So even if you're saying all the right things, if your body language is screaming, I'm uncomfortable, it's going to create a disconnect.
Exactly. And again, it's not about trying to memorize a bunch of alpha male postures or gestures.
Okay.
It's about becoming aware of your natural body language and making subtle adjustments that feel authentic to you.
So it's about aligning your internal state with your external expression.
Yeah.
If you're feeling confident and engaged, your body language will naturally reflect that.
Right.
And that congruence is what creates a powerful and magnetic presence.
I love that.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's like the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, I think the biggest lesson here is that attraction isn't some mystical force that's out of your control.
Okay.
It's a skill you can develop and refine through practice and self-awareness.
I like that.
By understanding the psychological principles at play, you can become more confident, engaging, and successful in your interactions with women.
That's such an empowering message.
I hope so.
This is about taking ownership of your own attractiveness and recognizing that you have the power to create the connections you desire. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. So be patient with yourself, experiment, have fun, and enjoy the process. You never know what amazing surprises might be waiting for you around the corner.